Shalom world. I've been making, for the past several weeks, I've been making video guides for my children who are preteens so that when they watch movies, they'll see themes and make connections with the parasha, with the weekly Torah portion that we're going through. And so I thought that I would share that with you because I think it's particularly pertinent to this week's parasha, which is Vayikra, where we get into the offerings. And there's a Midrash that says that we should begin educating our children from Vayikra, which is very difficult, you would think, because we've gone through Bereshit, we've gone through Genesis and Exodus, which is filled with narratives and very engaging stories. And now we're into all the laws surrounding offerings in the Mishkan, in the tabernacle, which is not the most exciting and stimulating aspect. So it's not the most appealing to children. But I did listen last year to an excellent shiur from Rabbi Richard Tobias, and who was connecting the korbanot and actually Sefer Vayikra in general, the book of Leviticus in general, with our experiences as human beings, and how the korbanot, the offerings that we bring to the Mishkan, really represent or correspond to our emotions and our inner feelings and thoughts. And so when we bring these korbanot, we're really bringing our emotions and we're bringing our experiences and we're using those as this springboard to connect with God. And I thought that was very beautiful. And I think it's also pertinent especially for young children who are learning to deal with they might be small humans, but they have very big emotions. And having emotional and mental awareness is a huge part of child development. And so going along with that, I think an excellent pairing for this week's parasha is the movie Inside Out. So I created this guide that goes through the movie Inside Out and gives you suggestions on points to pause and to reflect and ask questions, and to give a little introduction to the korbanot, the different korbanot, like sin and guilt offerings, which correspond to when we make mistakes. Obviously, that's an obvious one. The whole burnt offering, which is like an expression of exaltation and pure joy and giving over to God, and to the shlamim, the peace offerings, or the offerings of well-being. I've seen it translated in many ways. That are closely linked with gratitude, and there's the Todah, there's also the Nadivah and also Neder vows, which I think also are related to the Todah, obviously, but the other ones as well I think are related to gratitude and wanting to give back to God when He's blessed us. And then also the meal offering, which is, our sages explain, and the Torah changes its language to say that when a nefesh brings, when a soul brings. And so our sages derive from this that when you have someone who's in a lowly state, who's poor, and he can't afford to bring a cow, can't afford to bring goats, can't afford to bring goats or sheep, and can't afford to bring birds, he can still bring flour. And Hashem accepts that from him, as if he's brought his entire life, his entire being. And so even when we are in a lowly state, even when we're sad, we can still use that taking that as an opportunity to connect with God. And so this sheet just goes through that, and if I can figure out how to attach it to this video in the description, I'll try to do that. If you like this idea and like the sheet, go ahead and like and subscribe, leave a comment. I'll try to make one of these every week to relate the parasha with a movie. Not that I want my kids to always be watching movies, but they do enjoy watching movies, and I want that experience to not be a time to check out and to stop thinking, and certainly not to assimilate other people's values um, into their lives. I want when they watch movies, I want them to get into the habit of thinking critically about what's going on and the message and the themes in the movie, if they correspond to values in the Torah, in the Bible, or if they are in conflict with those, and to analyze, did the characters really do the best thing in this situation, um, so that they're not, they're not passively, through osmosis, being led astray. We can't, obviously, I don't think it's the best thing to shield them and to just say, no, you can't watch movies at all, because if we keep them from it now at this age, then when they get older and we can't control them anymore and can't determine what they watch, they got to go after things. And if we haven't taught them how to think and how to process and how to evaluate what they're seeing, they could get sideswiped and overwhelmed by opposing values that are in the world. So that's the purpose of this endeavor. If you have suggestions for movies that you think that would be good, appropriate for a parasha, go ahead and leave those in the comments. And also, if you know somebody else that's already doing these things, and I don't need to do it myself, you can also, leave their information also down there so that I don't need to make these myself, which should save lots of time. I hope you found this interesting and enjoyable, and take care.